Welcome back to episode 15 of the Zoo House Sports Fantasy Football Zoo podcast. This is your first time tuning in. My name is Matt, aka Zoo House Zebra, and I'm joined once again by my better co-hosts
Tom, aka Zoo House Goat,
and Rich, aka Zoo House Bear.
We're a bunch of mates who love the football and the fantasy sports, and now we're doing a podcast about it. We're your one-stop shop of potentially great advice, Super Bowl takes, and that occasional bit of humour, whether intended or not.
This week's episode sees our second mock draft of the 2020 off-season. Get ready to witness a masterclass in how to win your league from the draft.
Right, exciting times. Are we going to go ahead with it?
I say we just jump straight in. Yeah. So for everyone listening, we are doing a 10-man PPR redraft mock draft. We picked this week in our home league our positions that we were picking in from our actual draft. So we're just going to jump straight in with those, and we'll see how it pans out, I guess, guys.
So we got the Bear pick number 2, Goat number 7, and I am number 9. Let's see who does the best. Who's learnt from the divisional podcast chats?
Absolutely everything. Also, good luck remembering who's opted out in the last 2 hours to figure out who we can actually draft.
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
Right, are we ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's
Start
go.
the timer.
Time to begin the draft. We are on the clock. Oh, that's a surprise. Christian
Surprise,
McCaffrey
surprise.
goes 101.
Who would have thought?
Which
You can see us all
means
frantically
I'm actually
trying
going to
to get
go.
on our big
I've been
boards.
trying a new draft strategy, so I'm actually going to go a little bit off here, and I'm going to pick Saquon Barkley.
That is bold.
That's bold take. A bold take. Michael Thomas goes number 3. Strong. Then Ezekiel Elliott.
So I've been playing about with something I want to try out tonight. Dalvin Cook, hopefully won't hold out.
Dalvin Cook. Okay. And then is that Joe Mixon's gone as well?
Joe Mixon at 8. So it's like it's the most standard first round in first round history. The first 8 picks are Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Michael Thomas, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, and number 9, Mr. Zebra, is going to be.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to surprise anybody here with Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Oof, early wide receiver. Ooh. Brave move. Oh, he's had 2 picks in
RB?
between him. Kenyon Drake and Tyreek Hill are gone. Is Kenyon Drake going higher than anyone else thought he would? I've seen it quite a lot.
Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he'd fill middle of the second round.
Yeah,
I thought he'd fill middle of the second round. I'd be happy to pick him up, even my draft pick now. I feel like I'm put in a position of, not great. I always get stuck on this. I need to figure out what I'm going to do on this.
What's interesting is Sleepers rankings are very different to Fantasy Pros. We've been doing a lot of my mocks.
So I can only assume that Sleepers ADPs, and anyone out there who knows, please correct me on this. I can only assume that Sleepers ADPs are literally ADPs from people who have drafted their leagues already.
How much time do we have for each pick on this?
Oh, literally ages, but don't take too long because I would like to get some.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I want to make sure I'm not going to just suddenly lose. So I think I'm going to have to go with this. Yeah, I'm going to go Austin Eckler.
Ooh, okay. That's 2 wide receivers you've taken with your first 2 picks.
No, Austin Eckler.
Yes, he's a wide receiver. He doesn't ever run the ball. It's fine.
Oh, right, fine. No. You actually scared me. Then I was like, "What did I miss? Did I misclick a person here?"
Oh dear! No. Right, so we have Nick Chubb coming off at 203, which means Goat, you're back on the clock with Dalvin Cook.
No,
on your
I'll
team.
be honest. I'm looking at a wide receiver, Julio DeAndre, or do I look to another running back and secure the future of the franchise?
The future of the franchise.
I think you got
in Miles Sanders.
Really,
yeah,
if you were a real life franchise, you'd be the Washington team name.
I almost wore my former Washington team.
Yeah, I think you got a strong pick there, picking Julio Jones at 2-4.
But then Aaron Jones, not his brother,
and then
related.
Aaron Jones goes Miles Sanders after
That's
that.
way too early for Aaron Jones. I've seen him falling into the 3rd in quite a lot of mocks.
No,
really?
Yeah,
I don't think
true.
it's
Actually, I have been
Jones.
picking him up 3rd pick in my drafts a reasonable amount. Oh, I'm back on the clock. That's exciting. I wasn't watching that at all. Right, so we've had Patrick Mahomes go, which is curious, and we've had Josh Jacobs go as well.
Patrick Mahomes, I'm not surprised to go. He's just falling so quickly.
So thanks to the value that's... no, see... My last few mocks, I've been going...
Tight end? Yeah.
No, I can take it the next pick. So I was thinking about picking up DeAndre Hopkins here. But then that problem leaves me with I'm then at the end of the 4th round before I can take a second running back.
Yeah, but you get DeAndre Hopkins at the end of the second round. It's good value.
Exactly. I've got DeAndre Hopkins in an air raid offense. If he's been productive in the past, he's going to be hella productive with Kyler throwing in the ball. So let's try this out. This is a departure from my usual draft strategy for this slot.
Edwards-Helaire went early.
Right. Chris Godwin.
Well,
I think Edwards-Helaire... I think it's a little early for him. You are right.
There's a lot of risk.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk. There's such a diversity in the backfield for the Chiefs, as you say. Is he actually going to be utilised, or is he just going to not to get many targets?
He's another one for me though, who seems to be shooting up mock draft boards. I swear when we started this a couple of months ago doing mock drafts, he was like 4th round, middle of the 4th, and all of a sudden now you're seeing him creep up to the 3rd round. Can you imagine if he goes 2nd round on the day? I'd love that. Just get him out of the way, save some running back depth for me. I'm going to stick with my usual strategy here and take the biggest luxury in fantasy football this year and pick up Travis Kelce. So I am sorted for the entire year at tight end now. He's finished as a top 10 wide receiver for like 3 years. So let's have it.
I see what you did there. I'm going to copy your tight end strat.
Ooh, very nice. That's great value for you. George Kittle at 3-7.
Todd Gurley.
In between the 2 tight ends, by the way, we've had Todd Gurley, Mike Evans, Lamar Jackson, and James Conner go off the board.
James Conner's way too early. I'm sorry, I just can't see him repeating his 2018 season.
Yeah, I think you've got great value at George Kittle.
Kelce at the second pick in the 3rd is tremendous. I've seen him go early 2nd quite a lot.
That's so early for James Conner, though. 306.
It's me on the clock. Sorry, I'm trying to.
And one thing I've been looking out for is in case where I've been picking at 7, I've been finding I can get Julio Jones and Todd Gurley. But that leaves me with a horrible, I think, week 11, they're both on bye, or it's week 10. And that would just be horrible, having your WR1 and an RB1, essentially. Whoa.
The suspense builds as we watch the zebra in his natural habitat trying to work out who to draft with 309.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take a risk and follow the Bears' advice, actually, and hedge my bets on Leonard Fournette.
I love Leonard. He's going to have a big year. Just you wait.
Oh, D. Johnson's gone. That's ruined my night. That has ruined
Adam
my night.
Thielen. I was hoping he would come back around for me.
Have you even got any Viking players yet, Matt?
No, I haven't. Surprising, I know.
You missed out on Cook, you missed out on Thielen.
If we're going by hats, I need to start drafting baseball players.
Tom, if Cook falls to the 9th pick, I'm having him. That's such good value. Right, okay, so I need to reconsider what I'm going to do. I think it's going to have to be
Le'Veon Bell.
No.
Yeah,
pick up another wide receiver here, right? Allen Robinson or OBJ. I'm betting
Juju. What about Juju, Matt? You like Juju?
I bet he almost. OBJ.
No, he wouldn't reach for OBJ.
4th round, 2nd pick. The Zebra selects.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm just double check because I like to double check scores that they made last season. Oh, I just checked the wrong thing.
See, this is what I was saying. Running backs are going super quick off the board. We're already at in terms of running back already, and this is previous, we're already at the 32nd rank of running backs, I believe.
Do you know what? I'm going to...
No rush. This is great podcasting. There we go.
Oh.
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson.
Called it.
I was actually looking at DJ Moore as well. But in my head, I'm not sure what the Panthers are going to do after getting rid of Cam Newton. So how are they going to perform? Who's stepping in for Cam Newton at the moment?
Are the Panthers?
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, of course it is.
Who I think is going to have a
Cooper
reasonably
Kupp,
good year.
who's been slept on.
Oh,
finished wide receiver
that
last
is
year.
Brutal.
Yeah,
See, this is
Cooper
the problem with me going
then
wide
DJ
receiver,
Moore.
2nd pick, and then tight end, 3rd pick.
Then Chris Carson.
I was hoping that Chris Carson or Melvin Gordon would fall to me.
Gordon went just before, yeah.
Gordon went just before. Chris Carson went 3 picks before. which is not my favourite outcome for this. So now I'm kind of
Johnny Taylor
rooting around for a running back, and
has to
this
be
is
Johnny
not what I
Taylor,
like.
mate.
I don't know if
Johnny
I'm going to have
Taylor.
to stop taking tight ends or if I'm going to have to stop taking wide receivers early. But this is not the dream. So whilst I can, let's lock in a little bit of value, and I will take Amari Cooper.
Strong pick.
Yeah, that's a nice pick.
There goes Mark Ingram. I'm more than happy with that. And Mark Andrews.
Oh, Mark
goes off
Andrews
the
went.
board as well.
That's quite quick.
It is, and before Zach Ertz is the other thing worth noting there. But that means that my running back decision has been made for me, and Tom is right. I'm going to have to pick up Jonathan Taylor and hope that the Colts are up to something this year.
I need a running back now, ideally.
This pick and start getting slim here. That's why previously I've been going running back, tight end, running back.
But I'm looking at it. I don't want Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, although Woods is the value pick.
Woods is
you
the value
don't want it. I'm just going to have to go my boy AJ. I don't want two wide receivers from the same team.
So for those not watching on the YouTube video that will be coming this week with this, we have also had Juju Smith-Schuster, Calvin Ridley, David Montgomery, and DJ Chark come off the board before our resident GOAT purchased.
AJ Brown of the Tennessee Titans.
Very, very exciting.
The Zebra's now stuck. What's he needing? So you've got a quality WR1 in Devontae. Decent RB2 in Austin Eckler. Well, / wide receiver. Leonard Fournette, who should have had more touchdowns and was phenomenal considering he didn't really find the red zone at all. He was allergic to it. Allen Robinson, second pick of the fourth. Great value there. Second wide receiver. So you're looking at really tight end, QB, running back. What are you feeling here, Zebra?
I think you're right in terms of I'm going to get in my mind some value and get Zach Ertz.
Oh, solid value. That
is not bad at all. I mean, I have Zach Ertz as my 36th overall pick, so you got a lot of value down there.
Yeah, I think I was lucky he fell that far. I was surprised that he went before Mark Andrews. I know between the four, there's not much in it, but I would rate Zach Ertz over Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews had a highly dependent touchdown season last year. So who's to say he'll replicate that? And then after Zach Ertz, Robert Woods was picked and Devin Singletary. So it's back to Zebra.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you got to go Scary Terry, your favourite wide receiver.
Yeah, my Scary Terry's going big this year. He's going big.
In the Washington football team.
I'm having a look for someone. Oh, they must have been picked already. I missed that. How did I miss? Oh yeah, you did good. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I've been trying something else out that I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but we shall see.
Oh, that is going to upset.
That's ruined my life. Ruined my life.
And Kyler Murray is so. Dak Prescott has come off with Matt's pick, great value in the 6th round, which I know Dak is your favourite quarterback to be taking this year, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah.
And the pick after Dak, just before GOAT, was Kyler Murray, who is your second favourite quarterback, isn't it?
Allegedly.
So your day has been absolutely ruined in about 8 seconds there.
Well, what I'm thinking now is that I've just got to think about the restructured deal that was signed in San Francisco by the Raheem Mostert, who I can see being lead back there. So I think picking him up, it's maybe slightly early in the 6th, but judging on the snake and when I'll get another chance to get at him.
See, that's sometimes it. Although the ADP might be quite a bit lower, you got to foresee, and like you say there, the snake is, you got another 14 picks before it's your go again. Somebody help me do some quick maths.
Something like that. You got a number of picks that's more than one and less than 900 before your.
Well, there you go. That's some solid maths right there. So after Raheem Mostert, you got Russell Wilson going, T.Y. Hilton, Tyler Lockett, and DeAndre Swift. I don't think any of those are unexpected.
How is T.Y. Hilton falling to the 6th, though? Middle of the 6th?
I think that's where he really should be sitting, though.
Do you think?
I
don't know. It was only a few years ago. T.Y. Hilton was going in the 3rd. He was in last year, I think he was going in the 3rd.
Yeah, but
so
how did he do last year?
My next pick is going to be someone that I It's upset me
125
that I'm
points.
picked 2 in our home league because I've never been getting shares in him, and I'm very excited to now. I'm going to take a very, very slight reach and pick up Kareem Hunt as my 3rd running back off the board.
You're loving Kareem.
I
You're
love
creaming
Kareem Hunt.
over.
I love Kareem Hunt. There's no way he's too good to not be used heavily.
He's great. He's got good, strong legs for kicking women down. It's great.
Hey, look.
Right, so
if Nick
after
Chubb
that
takes
we
one
have
injury, I've got one of the best backs in the league. I'm just telling you.
But Nick Chubb won't. He's a machine.
after Kareem Hunt has been selected, we
Chablis.
have had Cortland Sutton and Deshaun Watson both
God,
go
I'm
off the
back on the
board,
clock.
and we're back on the clock with Bear, who should really be looking at a quarterback. I feel as this is
No,
this is
scary
his pick.
Terry.
Nah, it's too late now. It's
too
like,
late.
The ones that I like have
I-
gone. We're going to wait 2 more rounds at least before I get to a quarterback now.
Yeah, but I think that's also true. It's like your early tight end pick. If Travis Kelce goes in second, you're not going to reach for, or maybe you'll reach for Kittle, but not for Mark Andrews for another couple of rounds, or Zach Ertz.
Exactly. Pick him early or pick him late. Don't pick him somewhere in the middle because you just get left with dregs. Right. I'm very annoyed. All of my mocks, and I put a tweet out about this today, and if you have some advice, at ZooHouseBear on Twitter, please let me know what you think, because I really can't make head or tail of this. He's been making a lot of noise this week in the press, claiming that he's way better than everyone and throwing all of his toys out the pram. Keenan Allen is available, and I must have mock drafted him 20 times this week, right? But I've got a good wide receiver core already in DeAndre Hopkins and Amari Cooper, so I'm going to go for someone who I think is a little bit safer here, and I don't think there's any chance that they're not going to finish as a wide receiver too. I'm going to take Stephon Diggs.
Stephon. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Had to be Stephon.
Yeah.
I did have a little pause there because I was like, that's a good point. Scary Terry is still on the board, but no. Scary Terry is still on the board if you want him, Tom.
Ooh.
Oh, that's tempting. It must be tempting, Tom.
That would give him... he's picked up Rojo. Especially
Yeah,
seeing
I'm
as
trying to-
Deshaun landed
That was
himself on
quick,
the
that was
COVID
quick.
list this week, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So we've
Honestly,
had
right, so
Keenan
it's
Allen
back
went
to
straight
me.
after me. Then we had Darren Waller, which makes that the 5th tight end off the board by round 7. That is not a sentence you'd be saying in years gone by, I don't think, unless you play in a really, really bad home league. Cam Akers is gone. Let's see what they can make of the LA running back field there. Scary Terry. Tom picked up Rojo. We've had Marquise Brown go. Good old Hollywood. And now our resident Zebra is back on the clock. Very quiet clock.
Oh, how are you feeling about this, Zebra? I think you've got to go for another QB. I know it's not super flex. If I was you, I'd look at Cam
What is it with
Newton.
you and QBs today?
Cam Newton, Matt. That's what I'd look at. But at the moment, you haven't got anyone in your flex. So you've got to look at wide receiver or running back, really.
Well, Scary Terry is still available. Not Scary Terry, sorry. Devontae Parker's still available.
Yeah, I am looking at Devontae Parker or a
Julian.
running back, but
Julian Edelman, obviously.
Jarvis Landry is incredibly consistent year in, year out. He's a solid wide receiver 2/flex. There goes
no, I've gone Devontae
Parker.
Parker.
He's bought into the Dolphins.
Yeah, I
We'll see
don't
a minute
really.
of gameplay this year.
I'm not really convinced that the Dolphins are going to be reliable this season, or any season that is. But we'll test.
That's a question though. Does anyone think Tua's going to see game time this year with everything going on? Or are they just going to redshirt him for a year and be like, "We'll see you next year, pal. Stay healthy,
Red
train
shirt,
up."
yeah. 100%.
Shame. It would have been fun because they play the Bengals at one point during the season. It would have been fun to see Burrow and Tua face off. But hey ho,
Right,
Zebra, you're
I'm
back on
going
the clock.
for-
The
I need
Gronk
some-
and Drew Brees have gone in between.
What's going to be
I'm gonna-
interesting, though, if we get no college ball this year, how are they going to draft?
So apparently there's a supplementary draft that happens in the NFL. I don't know if it's happened already, but I reckon there's a chance that if that's yet to happen, then some college prospects will be like, actually, now I think about it, I'm out of here if there's no college ball. So we might see some late arrivals in terms of rookies.
Oh,
Imagine
that's
what
interesting.
happens for Trevor Lawrence if he decides to do that.
Curious, wouldn't it? You'd actually pay attention to that supplementary draft that no one else knows what's happening. Talk us through that James White pickup, Zebra.
Consistent, maybe not the flashiest of person, but you've had him many a season, haven't you, Bear? And to be honest, if you just need to fill a gap and have a good bench, then I think James White is your man for it. And picking him up in the 8th round
I
too bad,
can't
think.
listen to you now because I've just seen that my man Aaron Rodgers has gone and he was going to be my quarterback pickup at this pick. So I am absolutely furious.
Who picked up Aaron Rodgers, or where did
That would be
go?
you. Andrew Breeze has gone, and they're both my kind of late quarterback picks. I'm half tempted to ignore quarterback right until the very end and take a flyer.
What about Brady, your QB, your old man that you stole from Massachusetts?
Look, there's a very big difference between who is good in real life and who is good in fantasy. And I believe that Tom Brady is still one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. However, I will not be touching him in fantasy.
But will you touch him in real life?
Oh, he could touch me wherever he wanted, mate. Not a problem.
If you have that opportunity, yeah, go for it.
I'm going to just keep building some depth here then. I don't need another tight end. There's a lot of high value wide receiver left on the board, so I'm going to take Jarvis Landry. As I just said, I'm now confident that between Stephon Diggs and Jarvis Landry, I've got a wide receiver 2 or high value flex for any week that comes up this year. And then on my next pick already, Marlon Mack and Tyler Boyd go, which is fine because it's 9th round. It's definitely time for me to be picking up a quarterback. And I'm going to go with a man that I think I've touted on the podcast previously, Josh Allen. Let's go. Come on, Joshy boy.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick for 9th round for you. Right, who's gone after that? Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Evan Ingram, Deontay Johnson, and now we're up to the GOAT.
I think this is the easiest pick I've made all night, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yep. He's going to have an absolutely smashing season. It's Mr. Jordan Howard.
Oh my God. Behave. We had a conversation about this the other day and you couldn't even convince me with a straight face that you were into Jordan Howard this year.
What can I say? I like my late round running backs. Last 3 out of the 4 picks have been late round running backs. There's a lot of value there.
Just ridiculous.
It's not. Jordan Howard's going to go off. When he does, you can say, actually, you told us and we should have listened.
The only thing that truly worries me there, actually, is the fact that you got Matt Breida with him. If it was only Jordan Howard, I'd be with you because I think he's only 25 and in the last 3 years he's had 1,000 yards every season and at least 7 touchdowns every season. So he's going to produce. But if he's going to have to split snaps with Matt Breida, who we also know is a fairly good running back, how much does that
He's always injured. And he'll be a third down back, will Breida. Can't see him doing anything near Jordan Howard's level of production.
We will
see.
He
was doing well at Philly and then he got injured.
Yeah, just before your pick, Matt. Oh, you've made it. You can talk us through that in a second.
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say.
Will Fuller has gone off the board, and I heard someone say it the other day, and it's my new catchphrase for him now. He is the best 8-game decision you will make in fantasy this year. He won't be healthy all year. He'll be healthy for 8 games, but he will be the new DeAndre Hopkins for those 8.
Who's that?
Will Fuller.
Will Fuller.
Surprised he hasn't made like a merchandising deal with like Muller Yogurts and you change his last name.
I think that might be a bit niche for over here. Do they have Mullers in the States? I don't know, because lots of things are very different names over there, aren't they?
Well, for our European listeners, Muller Yogurts, you know, the crunch corners they do, don't they? I haven't had them in years, actually. I'm going to go for a crunch corner after this. I had an ice cream. I had really nice ice cream earlier. It's quite nice.
Oh, the computer has drafted Kershawn Vaughn, which is brilliant because he's on the old Sniffles list. I can't remember.
How long do they have to stay on the Sniffles?
I think I need to pack out my wide receivers a little bit. And this is
fairly well balanced. You're 4 and 3.
Yeah, but I also think this is a little bit early. But I need someone from Minnesota Vikings, so I'm going for Justin Jefferson.
You've gone really early.
Jefferson.
He won't come back around on the snake for me though.
I think he would.
Do you think? No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh.
See, drafting your home league players, it always ends badly. That's why I won't be touching Gronk or Brady.
I'll be honest, I'm torn now between will he come back to me? Let's hope and pray that he does. So let's take McCall Hardman, who I think is going to have an absolute stormer of a season. Bit earlier than I like in the 10th, but we're going to see if my secret weapon comes back to me.
Ooh, right, so we have Tevin Coleman has also gone, as has Hayden Hurst.
I would have thought with Austin Hooper's vacated targets, Hayden Hurst would have shot right up going into that, but people just aren't fancying him because he got beaten up by Mark Andrews last year. Aiden Hurst, a lot of draft capital actually invested in by Baltimore Ravens, and they traded him away quite cheaply, really, to the Falcons. So
Now,
the Atlantic Falcons.
I could be a
Bear.
real nuisance, Tom, and take the other side of your Dolphins bet, and I could pick up Matty Breeder.
No, I'd applaud your decision. Great decision.
I think there's an opportunity with Cam under centre for Sony
Matt
Michel.
Breeder's already gone. You know that, right?
Has he? Oh, he has.
Yep. So let's read out who's gone to after Tom chose Hardman. Matt Breeder went Marvin Jones Jr., Tevin Coleman, Hayden Hurst, and then Bear chose Sony Michel. And after that, Tyler Higbee went and Matt Ryan.
Right. So I have an exit strategy in drafts, which can play out in multiple different ways. And that starts from round 12 for me. So this is kind of my last free will pick of the draft, which I highly recommend people do, actually, because it means you can concentrate real hard for those first 11 picks and time your beer drinking to be drunk just at the moment you finish your 11th pick. And then 12 through 15, you're just enjoying a beer in the draft with your mates. I'm pretty evenly spaced out. Let's just take whoever I think is going to be the best value here. Actually, I cannot believe he's fallen this late. I think he's going to be the only productive wide receiver from this team this year. I'm taking Jamison Crowder.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah, I also knew that you wanted to take him, and you took Aaron Rodgers, so suck it, bitch.
There's no need for that. I hope you're found maybe in a pool of your own blood one day by a Frenchman named Michel. Last name Sony.
That is charming.
Well, Jamison Crowder's my boy. I've had him for like the last few seasons, and you took him off me.
Right, so after my pick, we had Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, now at the greatest team of all time. So that's a lovely marriage there. Hunter Henry, CeeDee Lamb, Carson Wentz, Jerry Jeudy was the selection by the GOAT. Do you want to talk us through Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah, I think Cortland Sutton will get injured or beaten out on snaps pretty early, and I just don't like Cortland Sutton at all. I think Jerry Jeudy is a better route runner and a better player all round, and Drew Lock connection with him will link up nicely.
Cool. After that, we had Philip Lindsay, who, do you reckon he might try and find that Austin Eckler role behind Melvin Gordon this year? They'll start using a bit more as a pass-catching back, which in PPR could give him great value. And that brings, at the end of the 11th round, the Daft Zebra back onto the clock.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I should be. I feel like I've got quite a balanced overall bunch here. I think it's just adding to the bench, isn't it? So let's see. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I'm. Let's see if this. Oh no.
This is great podcasting, by the way.
Oh.
Let's Ooh.
I don't know.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Ooh.
It's the 11th round onwards, Matt. This is garbage time. This is
very true.
This is like just get on your beer. If we could be sponsored by you, please, Mr. Anheuser-Busch, that'd be very nice. Other beers are available if you wish to sponsor us. Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. I'm particularly fond at the minute of a Amsterdam-based beer. They're very, very tasty. Oh, Zebra's picked. Zebra, talk us through
it. Sterling Shepard. Nothing really to it. As you say, it's the 11th pick. It's not anything massively exciting. It's just...
I thought you were going to go for your namesake, Matty Stafford.
He's gone.
Yeah, no, but I meant before Sterling Shepard.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no.
And then after Sterling Shepard, a Matty Stafford went, and then a Tony Pollard, which I think people are hopeful that something may happen to Zeke, or they'll get third down ball.
Yeah, people are really, really high on Tony Pollard. I heard someone the other day saying they'd rather take Tony Pollard than Alexander Mattison.
They're drunk.
And that was baffling to me. There's a hint for you, Matt. Take Alexander Mattison, the most powerful backup in the
handcuff.
League.
Yeah. That is...
Yeah, there we go. I like it.
I think it's going to be a horrific reach, but I don't know if he'll come back to me. And this is where I don't know how comfortable I feel, but I just feel the Jerry Jeudy connection's too strong not to go for it. With a Drew Lock pickup in the 12th round.
Big reach. He's going undrafted in most leagues.
Why? It's an absolute no-brainer
Also,
QB2.
you know I love Drew Lock, and I've never seen you draft him, so I can tell from the little grin on your face that you took him for me. But that's why I have multiple exit strategies to account for when Tom tries to be a wise guy, even though we're like, you know what? We'll make some content for the people, and we'll not weaponize it against each other. But hey,
You took Crowder.
We'll see how it goes. Who cares? I never draft a DST. Never. But this year, there's no preseason games, so let's draft the San Francisco 49ers. I haven't got to worry about. What are you chuckling about?
He says, I never drafted DST. Next pick, DST.
Yeah, I was explaining it. Never before when I've drafted DST. The whole time we've been playing fantasy football, I don't think I've drafted a DST, because I remember when we very first started out, I read an article that was like, don't draft a defense, just stream them. And it made sense when you had preseason games, because look at how many guys get injured in preseason games. The risk there is lower for me now. At the 12th round, I should be happy with most of my team, and I'm starting to take flyers, so why not take someone like the 49ers defense, who, unless loads of more people opt out, are going to be pretty powerful, by all accounts.
Oh, yeah. You've still got the bow, so the only thing is, I think they lost Buckner to the Colts, who's a huge integral part of their defense.
True, but I'm sure they'll find a way to cover it in. They're a good team. Right, my next pick is still part of my exit strategy. I'm going to take a quarterback. Tom thought he was smart taking Drew Lock, but he doesn't know that I've changed away from my Drew Lock pick. I now have the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. That seems way smarter, if you ask me.
I like it.
You don't want Bill Belichick's quarterback. As a New England Patriots fan, wearing a New England Patriots cap right now, you don't want Bill Belichick. You always get, Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. Brady did nothing. He was made by Bill Belichick. You don't want Bill Belichick's quarterback.
No, what I want instead is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, because I think they're going to
be... What is wrong with you?
Well, you know what? It's garbage round time.
No, do you know what? Actually, they do have a pretty easy team to face. I don't think that's stupid, apart from it's obviously a bunch of old pensioners, but...
That's the row line. They're offensive team.
Tristan Wirfs will have a word with you on that one, pal, but never mind.
Tristan, what? Yeah, if I'm in the pool, he can't get me, because all he can do is jump out of a pool. Have you ever tried to jump out of a pool? Do you realise how strong he is as a human being to do that? I'm not denying that, but have you seen him move in the pool? Move around.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he going up and down, creating the waves, and then jumps for it?
No, completely stationary start, jumps from like chest high water to standing on the side of the pool.
So, who else has gone?
It's just been
who injured his leg.
Big old run on defense. They've had Pittsburgh Steelers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baltimore Ravens, New England Patriots all go. Matt.
Yeah.
As we move forwards, it's probably worth knowing that about 5 New England Patriots defensive players have opted out of the season today.
Oh, that's very exciting. Is that why they've fallen? I was a bit like, how have they fallen so far? Why is Tampa Bay there?
I mean, that happened about an hour and a half ago, so very, very fresh news. But yeah, I think that's going to drop them a few pegs. Ooh.
Austin Hooper's fell into the 14th. Whoa.
Oh, but you took a kicker instead. Look at that. Oh, we've got the standard old run in the last rounds. We've had Will Lutz. Will Lutz,
yeah.
Lutz.
Good kicker, great kicker.
He is a good kicker. Justin Tucker, Austin Hooper, Harrison Butker, Noah Fant. I mean, that's great value on Fant and Hooper down there, to be honest with you, isn't it? Bears, Chargers, Seahawks defenses. It's time to execute my next phase of exit strategy where, Tom, you think you know what I'm picking, but you don't really. Dallas got it.
Really? I'd have thought you'd have gone to Dallas or Tennessee.
No, Dallas got it. Oh, I am excited for him. He was producing with Zach Ertz in the offense last year. If Zach Ertz gets injured, again, you know, at this stage, you're picking players where if someone picks up an injury, you've got a league winner on your hands.
Is Dallas Goedert still alive, or is he still in the coma?
What is wrong with you?
Well, he got laid out, didn't he? I thought he went into a coma after getting laid out.
He did. Oh, he didn't go into a coma. I forgot. No, he didn't go into a coma. Tom's having you on there. But that is still, we said it on a previous podcast.
Sorry, you're Tristan Go got laid out in a bar to catch a ball.
Just if you haven't seen the video, go and watch it. It is epic. We don't condone violence, by the way. Naughty. Greg Zuerlein's gone. Christian Kirk has gone. We're now into the final round. This is the epitome of garbage time. On the way out, I will take... Let's play with Duke Johnson on the way out.
Oh,
If the whole other D Johnson doesn't pan out, and he might not, you never know. If the other D Johnson doesn't pan out, then we have, again, another high-powered backup there, which is what you're looking for in the late rounds.
And look at that for a last pick. I think that is golden.
Jalen Rieger? That's not bad.
He'll essentially be wide receiver 1 in Philadelphia. Now they're all dropping. Going
True.
onto the sniffles list. Look at Marquise Goodwin, who has decided to drop out for the entire season. He's opted out.
Boom. There we go. That is done. Daft Zebra, Sammy Watkins with his last pick. Very exciting. We can see the Watkins-Hardman race between Tom and Matt. If this was a real draft, it's not. It's a mock draft. How does everyone feel about their team?
Do you know what? I potentially regret choosing 9th. I feel like I'm stuck in a difficult position at the 9th pick and 11th. I think I'm gonna have to do some practice and change it up. Not the happiest, but what can you do? How do you feel?
Nixon would fall to you at 9th in real drafts, with the greatest respect. I've seen Nixon go 9th, Mixon go 9th or 10th most of the time.
True.
In one draft, we did see him go 5th, which is bonkers.
Early Mixon drafting syndrome. Yes, but there's a lot of leagues out there. You know, not everyone drafts, and before I say this, we are not industry experts, but not everyone drafts and reads mock drafts from industry experts, where Devontae Adams, potentially Chris Godwin, potentially DeAndre Hopkins, and Michael Thomas. You know, you're going to have potentially 3 wide receivers going in that first round. Not everyone reads that. Not everyone understands that.
Potentially,
everyone
1 or 2
loves a running
quarterbacks.
back. Yeah, withoutly, potentially every quarterback. So, yeah, it's good preparation, I think, because our league tends to have a big old run on running backs early
The
on.
9th, I was surprised, Matt, you chose Eckler over, say, someone like Julio Jones. I'd have been tempted to go Devontae Adams, Julio Jones.
Yeah,
Zero
this
RB.
is what I need to go. 0 RB. I need to figure out whether or not I'm comfortable with that. I don't feel
Well, you need to,
as an
I need
RB1.
to be clear on this.
Austin
0
Eckler,
RB is not picking a wide receiver 1 and 2.
And 3
No,
it
it's
is.
picking. It's
0
up to 5.
RB is not picking a running back until round 5.
Oh, I'd say ramp. I don't know how comfortable. All right, fine then.
It's
0.5
actually.
RB.
Do you know how 0 RB came about? This is really boring for everyone out there listening, but I like stuff like this. 0 RB came about by some statistician who wrote that there is more fragility in the running back position, and the guidelines that he laid out to protect your team from fragility on a week-by-week basis was to pick 2 starting wide receivers, a premium tight end or quarterback, and a flex wide receiver before you even think about drafting running backs.
He's got some logic. I can
So
see
am
it.
I?
So
Am
round
I
5,
wrong
you're
there?
taking your first running back.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I thought you said no. Okay, so round 5 is your first running back.
In 0
So you're
RB.
looking there at the next Kareem Hunt is the next RB chosen there.
No, it was Devin Singletary. And then you would have had. It would have.
Sorry,
snaked-
at my
sorry.
position.
Yeah, you could have had.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
He was
Devin
the next
Singletary,
one taken.
Raheem
and-
Mostert. Could you
Yeah,
imagine?
maybe DeAndre Swift if it looks back to you, or maybe Raheem Mostert. It'd be ballsy. I personally would take
Yeah,
one
it
in
would
the
be
4th.
ballsy.
I wouldn't in this. I think you can do 0.5 RB, as I like to coin it, which is where you just go 3 rounds wide receivers and then go running backs. I think in the
I don't
4th,
know. I just feel like you start to run out of running backs really quickly. Maybe down the other end of the draft, you know, where people like Kareem Hunt are still knocking about in round 5 and 6, whatever. But with my draft here, as I said, I've been picking from 2 for a week now, and I've gone running back / tight end, and then whatever I didn't pick in the second round and the third, and then running back in the 4th round, and then just building a whole bench of wide receivers. This draft, I went almost completely the other way. I went running back, wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver. So I've got a great receiving core. DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, and Mari Cooper. I've essentially got 3 wide receiver 1s there. Saquon's fine, but then I'm left with Jonathan Taylor, the dregs in round 5. So I think I need to potentially fix that a little bit. The problem I had was I would have taken Melvin Gordon if he hadn't gone the pick before me in the 4th. And I think that team would look a lot better if it was Saquon, DeAndre, Kelce, Gordon, Cooper, Hunt.
you still would have got to Diggs. Yeah, Diggs is EWR
and then
too.
Diggs, Landry. You know, I think that would have looked. Well, I reckon I
Healthy.
could have had Amari Cooper on the turn, looking at what the person after me picked.
Yeah.
So I could have had Melvin Gordon and Amari Cooper. That would have been a fantastic team there. But it's a dangerous game. Again, David Johnson is slowly climbing up. I've seen him going at the end of the fourth a lot, and I've picked him up a few times, but he slowly seems to be creeping up to the top of the
D
fourth
Johnson
now.
strat called it.
Well, I've got the other D Johnson, so I'm halfway there. The 0.5 D Johnson strat, I like to call it.
I think, Matt, looking back at your team, I think it is quite nice though still. I'd say yours and the Bear teams are, I'd say...
Yeah, I'll admit that was an early pick on Justin Jefferson. Maybe I could have got some better value.
In the Vikings, you'll come to an WR2 behind Thielen. Who else can you see?
Well, and this is it. And who else? Yeah, exactly. Who else is going to take it? And are you going to be able to trust Justin Jefferson, who is now isolating, isn't he? So who knows what's going to happen there?
But that's kind of okay though, right? Because you'd almost rather your player like Zeke. I think Zeke is definitely a third pick now because he had the Rona. He's got over it. He's now in camp. I don't know enough about this disease and how it works. Maybe he can test positive again halfway through the season and he's still out. But to me, he's had it. He's immune, at least for a little while. So you've got him guaranteed through the season now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your team anyway, Tom? You've got, Dalvin Cook, Julio Jones, George Kittle, Cooper Kupp. It's a strong start to that. Then move on. AJ Brown, Raheem Mostert, Ronald Jones, Aaron Rodgers.
I regret picking up Cooper Kupp, and I wish I'd picked maybe Melvin Gordon. If D Johnson or Le'Veon Bell had been available, I'd have taken them. I just think my running backs, I'm trusting in too much into the backfield in 49ers, and I'm trusting that Rojo is get trusted by Arians. But I think Jordan Howard will bail me out. I think he'll have a smashing year in Miami and rescue his career.
Yeah,
I quite like your team. It's I think George Kittle falling all the way to 7th pick in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Did you a massive favour on that one. Otherwise, you're looking at Tyler Higbee, and I know you rate Tyler Higbee, and I know you take him a lot, but 5 games isn't a big enough sample size to put him in over
Kittle
Gerald
should
Everett
score,
But
score 50 to 60 points extra. So if you think over, let's say we played 10 games, 12 games until I think 13 games we play until the playoffs in our league. 13 games, you're talking an extra fair few points across the season. So we've lost and won games by 2 to 3 points. So if he gets that 2 to 3 points in a game...
People here have lost games by 0.1 of a point.
Or 0.00. No, 0.06 of a point. Just more than a passing yard. Just less than a rushing yard.
Well, anyway, I don't think if any of us landed with these teams, I don't think we will be too disappointed. Possibly some changes we can do in trades, but it's a good start to the season.
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins at the end of the second is almost disgusting, Rich.
Yeah, I couldn't pass that up. I was looking at that and I was thinking, do I maybe do a little reach for Todd Gurley to bolster my running back? But even I think Chris Godwin at the end of the second, I'd have found it hard to have passed him up there. There was such a big run on running backs early.
In the third, you took Travis Kelce. Say Clyde Edwards-Helaire had been available still, would you have taken him over Kelce, or is it always Kelce
No,
for you
from
there?
pick 2, my strategy is secure myself one of Kittle, Kelce, Mahomes, or Jackson. Because if you look at them, I can't see enough has changed in their worlds that they're not going to be these big difference makers at their position again this year.
Oh, Kelce's he's just such a clutch player, and Mahomes loves him.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't see a world in which they're not still putting up huge. Maybe it's not as big as it was last year, the difference between some of them. But I can't see a world where they're not putting up big numbers. And especially at tight end, as I said when I drafted him, it's the biggest luxury you can have right now in fantasy football this year, not having to go and sift through Evan Engram, Hayden Hurst, Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett, all these people, Hunter Henry, hoping that you can find someone and probably having to swap your tight end out 3-4 times in a year. I had to do that last year. I hated it. Hated every moment of it.
I know. I mean, having taken decent tight ends, I think I've taken tight ends 2nd or 3rd rounds every single draft. Some admittedly, Rob Gronkowski in 2018 was a slight reach, but last year was Kelce. The year before that was Kelce. I 100% agree with it. In Kittle, I think Matt Ertz, your one at the end of the 5th is just...
End of the 5th round to get Ertz, I think is the best value for him I'll ever see.
Your 5-6 turn...
In PPR, it's disgusting value.
Your 5-6 turn was amazing, Matt. Zach Ertz in the end of the 5th, Dak Prescott at the start of the 6th. That might have made your draft right there.
I think as well for me, my strategy is I always feel more confident if I've got my leading RB1 and wide receiver 1 and 2s placed, and then I can pick, sort of a strong tight end and quarterback. I don't feel that we can all admit there are 4 tight ends that you look for. If they were on the board by the end of the 5th round, I'm going to go for one of them.
Gronk.
And then
Gronk. And Kelsey, right?
Yeah, sure. And then coming back, I'm terrified of that long snake back to my near to the end of the 7th pick, that I'm going to miss out on one of these good quarterbacks that can change.
I think sixth round for someone like Dak. Kyler is great value. I've seen Dak going in the 5th, and
even Kyler going in the 5th.
Yeah, Kyler and Dak are pretty much, and then Wilson is not far behind them at all. You've got a real drop off between the top 5, maybe top 6, and then you've got talking 20 points in a season, 20, 25 points.
Still think your Josh Allen pick at 9 is good.
It's good. He's not the best passing quarterback, but let's be honest, neither is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's passing stats weren't a billion times better than Josh Allen's last year. But you're relying, much like you are in Lamar, that Josh is going to pick up that ball and sprint down the field a couple of times again.
Speaking of stats, Kyler Murray and Josh Allen, their stats are eerily similar. Kyler Murray threw more picks, actually, and had 700 more rushing yards last year, but Josh Allen ran in, I think, almost 6 extra touchdowns versus him and threw less picks. Now, all right, he's making less passing attempts because it's not air raid, but points-wise, Josh Allen scored almost as many as Kyler Murray. It was very close. So realistically, could you see them being similar values? So if you got a similar value QB 3 rounds later, Rich, I think that's probably one of the steals of the draft. Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I would rather pick up Dak, Kyler, or Russell somewhere around the 6th round. But they went. So as I said at the time, I'll wait a couple of rounds and I'll pick up someone with value later. And to be honest with you, between Josh Allen and Cam Newton, much like I said with Stephon Diggs and Jarvis Landry, I've got an option every week there. It may not be the best, but I've got my first 4 picks to get me out of jail there. Right, well, we will... you can do your bit in a second, Matt. I was just going to say we will put polls and images and all that kind of stuff of this out on our Twitters and our Instagrams, our at ZooHouseBear, at ZooHouseGoat, at ZooHouseZebra, and then on Instagram and Twitter at ZooHouseSports_. Let us know who won. Let us know what you think, and we will add this onto our end of year drinking punishment podcast for the loser. How about that?
Super.
Like it.
After a thrilling mock draft with some great pickups and some bamboozling selections, we're going to take a nice little stroll to the petting zoo. We've got a lovely question coming in today from Alan in Twat in the Orkney Isles. So, he asks...
That's not a real place.
It is.
That's not a real place.
Is it actually? That is a real place. Yes.
Sorry, Alan. Sorry.
So, Alan, sorry for the lack of respect there. And Alan's question this week is, with the MLB temporarily suspending the Marlins season amid a coronavirus outbreak, as the Nationals players, the team they were meant to play, refused to travel to Miami for a weekend series. So his question is, how do we think the NFL may react and handle something similar for an NFL team in 2020? And open this up to the bear and the zebra. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan. You could probably do a writing question a bit better. It was a bit stop and go there. But Zebra, why don't you kick us off, mate?
Love it. Do you know what? I think it's going to be like that. It will be certain teams are going to be locked down, but I think it will be players. Everyone will be tested, kind of upcoming to the games. Results will be coming back, and anybody who's got high temperature will be, stepped away from the team. I think that's going to be the hardest thing. If somebody has any symptoms, then they're just wiped out for probably going to be 3 weeks, considering the rules at the moment. And how does that impact our fantasy plays? Suddenly, you could have 3 or 4 players from your team missing for 3 weeks. Now, do you just bench them? Do you actually get rid of them entirely? I think that's going to be the hardest part. But overall, I think no fans are going to go to the stadiums. I think there'll be empty stadiums, no matter what the general managers say about making money. They'd rather have a season overall than have no season because of too many outbreaks happening. And I hate to say, it's not just because it's America, but the crowd there, you're not going to get outbreaks. It's just inevitable. So I think that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I was trying to find out some information on what the actual NFL protocol is that they've agreed to, and the NBA, NHL, MLB, one of them has basically come to agreement. They're testing you every other day or something like that. If you test positive, you're out, you're in isolation. But after 3 consecutive negative tests, you can then return. And I don't think they've necessarily put a time frame on it. But my understanding is in the NFL, you are at least 10 days from symptoms, as in from the onset of symptoms. And it has to be at least 7 days since you last experienced a symptom. And you have to be accompanied by a negative test, I believe, to come back in. Which is leading a lot of people to say, actually, realistically, if someone catches it during the season, you're looking at a 3-week turnaround. You know, there's potential that someone's going to go onto that COVID list and they're going to be there for 3 weeks. And that's going to be a real, maybe not so much of a problem because people get injured and stuff during the regular season for the actual teams, but for us guys trying to draft, I already want to put an asterisk on our on all of our fantasy leagues this year and say, well, you know, you might have won the COVID league, but let's see how it goes.
Unless you win it.
Unless I win it, in which case it was well deserved, and I actually navigated the tumultuous times that we live in.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I'm fully confident we'll still have a season. I know we're recording this on Tuesday, the 28th of July. It sounded like a captain's log. Captain's log, Tuesday, 28th of July. We're recording this on Tuesday, the 28th of July, Star Trek. As that was actually right. Damn it. As it's the first day of all the players opting out of the NFL. It's the first day that players have been allowed to announce that they're opting out. And as of the time of recording, I think something like 1.3% of the league has opted out. Everyone on Twitter is losing their minds. I think they're about to set fire to their homes. They're claiming there's going to be no season. I'm more optimistic. The 20-something, I think 25 players who've opted out, they've opted out. There's nothing we can do about that. There's still enough players there to make a team. The biggest names we've had so far is Marquise Goodwin and Hightower. I think this first 24 hours is going to be your biggest bust. We can get through the next 24 hours. There's going to be a season. It's going to be fine. Just make sure your league has injured reserve slots because you're going to need them when half your team comes down with COVID this year.
Talking about that, does our league have injured reserve slots?
We have one at the minute. I think we should petition for 2. Looking at how quick, as you say, the Marlins team, they had, was it 14 positive tests in one day?
Wow.
I think they went from a test one day, skipped a day, the next day they get tested, and it was 14 positive tests. So that shows you how quickly a whole swathe of players can get taken out. So we might need to readdress that as we go through the season.
And that would be some advice for us, for people running fantasy leagues this year, to consider at least 1 IR for the COVID season, possibly 2. And Alan, in Twat, from the Orkney Islands, look, I think you just got to consider maybe 2 IR for your team. And I think absolutely will be a season because of the TV money is too huge and the NFL as a brand. Unfortunately, there's too much money involved and people's health is coming a second to that. I personally think there shouldn't be a season at all until the Patriots have got everything fixed and we're ready to go and win the Super Bowl. But there's people out there in Tampa who've taken old people who shouldn't be playing the game, risking their lives to try and win something finally, which is abuse. And I agree with you, Alan, entirely.
Well, maybe New England should have set up in Florida, hey? But anyway, with that, let's call it a day.
If you enjoyed the podcast, be a friend, tell a friend, and then go ahead and drop us a review on whatever platform you use. It helps us more than you can imagine, and the best part is, it's free. If you can't wait another week for more fantasy content, then visit our website, zoohousesports.com.
And for any questions, like we had tonight from Alan, or your own Super Bowl takes you wish us to share and make an opinion on, you can drop us an email to fantasyfootballzoo@zoohousesports.com. Alternatively, if you're on the Twitter, you can find me at ZooHouseGoat.
Or me at ZooHouseZebra.
Or me at ZooHouseBear. Or the podcast in general on Twitter and Instagram at ZooHouseSports_.
Well, thank you for listening and we'll catch you next week.